our next keynote speaker, we know her well, and I warmly welcome her, Mrs. Kateryna Sokolova. She is an assistant professor at the National University of Kyiv, teaching advertising and public relations. And today, Mrs. Kateryna Sokolova is presenting on the topics of propaganda, fake news, and hate speech. Especially not only in traditional media, but also in social media.
So I was thinking quite a bit how to call this presentation, because it's not only about fake news propaganda and sharing information online and in traditional media, but it's also about the democratic values and how this development of the information dissemination in the world actually influences the politics and the democracies that we are discussing with you in this project. And I came up with a name which is generally called online space versus democratic values. So let's start. And to start off, of course, I would like to mention that there are different ways to disseminate information. And as you know, social media and the online media, they are becoming more and more popular. But nevertheless, in Ukraine, television is still #1 media to get all this information about the elections, especially the elections, about the pandemic now, and about all those different pandas that were born in different corners of the world. Considering the social networks, of course, one of the organizations that we visited during the previous project is Detector Media. They monitor and analyze all these like they are conducting the research, so they are basically conduct this surveys to ask people which channels they use to get the information. And among the social networks, they hope that this year it will be the Instagram, the leader. But it is still Facebook, so nothing changed yet. Like the difference is, I think 1% only, but still Facebook is the leader. So maybe this year, I don't know actually what the situation is going to be, because we will get the report only in December or January. But it may change, of course, because the percentage was so low. So I will give you some information about the percentage of people who get information from different sources, and about the access to the internet, which is very important, because if you have the access to internet, you get the information and you get more information. And of course you use social networks, and most are social networks, but I will tell you later about that. So considering the topic of my presentation, which is propaganda and fake news, it is very important to talk about the ownership, which influences the editorial policies a lot. And based on this factor, based on the owner, we get this certain angle of the information. Like, for example, once we visited another project in Hungary, and they gave us a bright example, which I still use to illustrate what I mean. For example, there is the square, and there is the some kind of event, and there are a lot of people, there is a crowd of people, and there are different channels. And one of the channels, which is a public channel, they put the camera so you can see the crowd, yeah, and they are saying there are a lot of people who came to support a certain politician or the certain event. And there is another channel who they turn their camera another way, and they say that there are no people who came to support this politician. And this is the difference. This is what we actually see on Ukrainian television, because um, here on the website, which is supported by the Institute of Mass Information and Reporters Without Borders, they made a whole map of the owners. And there are the channels of the opposition, and there are the channels who support the current government. And based on this, we can see the certain information. So according to some of the main researches done by the organizations like Factum Group, which are very serious agencies who conduct the surveys, they publish their reports annually, so the results are representative because they have all the resources to involve a lot of general public. And in 2018, the internet access level reached 75% among the people with higher education, and 55% of those people. So 55% of the people with higher education, they search for the information online. Which is mostly social networks and some online platforms. This is the statistics which shows the percentage of different year groups who had found the information online. So as you can see, 18 in the gap of 18 to 29 years old, it's 77%. In the gap 30 to 39 is 78%, 40 to 49 is 69%, 50 to 59, 49, and 60 plus, it's 16%. In general, as I told you before, it's 55%. So if you think about it, it is actually a bit scary and pretty like explaining the situation, yeah, what our audience believes in, because if you only use the internet and if you don't check the information, you also are subjected to a huge amount of the fake information. So in 2019, the number of people with the internet access rose by 7%, which included the rise of the internet access in the countryside. So basically all the people who sometimes do not have the higher education, and sometimes those like in the gap of 18 till 29 years old, when people are only forming their opinion, they get this fake news from the online sources. And as a result, we have, for example, the results of the election. Yeah, the people trusted. Yeah, they believed that actually everything that they saw in the TV series will be true. So, which is very, on one side, it is hilarious, but in other side, if you look at these numbers, you get again pretty shocked. And well, this is the point for the analysis. As you can see, this is the dynamics of the internet penetration in the in general population. In 2004, it was only 12%, while in in 2019, it became 71%. And I think it is very important because it is 22.9 million people who have the access to the internet. So this is the numbers for the countryside, the population, which have the access to the internet. So basically, people who every day go online and they check it is good if they check the pages of the national media, like for example, the national TV channels or the some online media who also have the pages, but mostly they just check the feed. And there is the survey which was conducted by not so trustworthy media. It is called Новое время. But the survey itself was very interesting. They just went to the street and they asked the like average people of what sources they use. And some of them, actually, maybe like 20% of these respondents, they said that they use the pages of their acquaintances, who are the journalists. And when they were asked to give the name, they couldn't give this name because like they were maybe shy to share, or maybe those were not the journalists, those were just the influencers whom they use to actually find the information, and they think that this information is checked, this information is verified, which is very important for understanding like how Ukrainians get the information. If our students, if our participants want, I will share this link with you for this survey. It is, I think it is interesting. This is the percentage for the people who use only smartphones to access the internet. And like mostly because of the maybe lower quality of the internet, of course, this will not involve the access to the traditional media, to the television mostly, yeah, because to watch these videos, you need to have the really high quality internet because, you know, yeah, you won't be able to watch it. So basically, these people, they check their feed, and they read the maybe the long reads or the news on the online platforms. This is the percentage of people who get information only from the television. So television is the main source for them. And they basically watch several all national television channels. Like we have several of them, and as I told you, they belong to different owners. That's why people, especially professionals, and I believe that people who are present here, they also do that, because you need to compare the information. So we usually watch like 1+1, ICTV, Новый channel, Fifth channel, which is the channel of our former president, and which is now very interesting to watch because it's also kind of opposition, yeah, but like not in the straightforward way. And also some people watch Inter and 112 канал, which is considered to be the channel of channels of the opposition, and which are considered to be pro-Russian. So some of people, of course, they watch only, for example, channel Ukraina, which is owned by Akhmetov, and only Inter, which is the channel of the opposition. And based on that, they get all the information about the elections, and about it was during the presidential elections, and of course now during the local elections. I'm almost like, you know, the crossing during the crossing, when I get the they get to the internet now because it is fulfilled with this information about all these candidates, and also almost every person is a candidate today. So this is the percentage for 2019. This is the people who use only internet as a source of information. So they only use social networks or the online platforms. This is the percentage of trust to media. 51%, they really trust online media. So they do not think about verifying information. They do not question the information which is published, for example, on the Facebook page. So they just choose to trust. And this percentage is actually very high, because several years ago, the level of trust to traditional media, it was some 22%, as far as I remember. It was 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. With the fake news, with this propaganda and people believing this news and then making their decision during the elections and making their choice, during the election, comes another thing, which is very important to discuss, I think, today. That's why I included it in the presentation. It is called cyberbullying. Of course, you know what bullying means, and it is not only directed to for example, to children at schools, which is very popular topic now, but it is also now directed against the people who do not have the same opinion as you do. And this first appeared, and this first was discussed, and first people tried to fight it in America, during elections in America, when there was Trump on one side. So there was a Trump camp on Twitter, and there was the Clinton camp on the other side. And again, they were fighting. They were fighting severely on Facebook, or on Facebook and on Twitter, especially Twitter, because in America, this is one of the most popular channels for the politicians and the media influencers. And like in the end of all these, even the influencers started to write that people shouldn't listen to this fake news, and they shouldn't listen to this what they are told to do. Like you need to actually respect the opinion of other person. And these media influencers, they tried to tell the general public to stop this cyberbullying. Every person, they are democracy, so every person has the right to express themselves, to give the opinion. And this is how appeared. Of course, it is an old thing, public shaming. I think it's from the beginning of the world. This term existed, but during the elections, and during the elections in America especially, this public shaming, it's transferred online. And this is, you can see this the man, this is a very nice picture, by the way, a man with the logo of Twitter, and people pointing at him. And I think this illustrates pretty well the situation, the current situation. This link I will definitely share with you. This is the description of public online shaming, and you will read it in detail, because this is the the very wide topic that you need to understand, because you are not protected from it. And especially when you express your opinion online, and even if it's not true, yeah, even if you read a fake news, like for example, that there was a situation in traditional media several years ago, when all traditional media posted the paragraph from the fake page, Facebook page, but they believed that this page was real, and they didn't verify this information. So all this information, it was disseminated in national level. And after that, they were deleting and apologizing, but nevertheless, people got this information and they believed that it is true. They reposted it, and their acquaintances in the friend list, they started to write like, "Oh no, you're an idiot to post this." So during the election period in Ukraine, there were two main camps, like it was in America. One of them, it was called Porokhoboty, which is based on the mixture of the surname Poroshenko and bot, which is not the real person, yeah, who just creates fake articles to support, yeah, some candidate. And another camp was Debile, which was based on the surname Zelensky, and Debil is an idiot in English. So these were two main camps who were fighting against each other, and this online shaming and cyberbullying, it developed during this period. Hopefully we will not have it during this election period, because it is on a local level. So I really hope that it will not develop. Getting the information and not verifying it, of course, it makes you vulnerable, and it makes you not protected. Yeah, you believe, you trust the media basically, but it doesn't make you an idiot, you know, because there are, first of all, this is the as you can see on the presentation on the screen, this is the freedom of opinion and expression. No matter which information you consider true, you still can share it, because it is your own opinion, and no one can blame you for that, because it is protected by the human rights. And this is just the article, yes, the freedom of expression. Before, it used to be called freedom of opinion and expression. Now it is called only freedom of expression, which is basically you can share any information, but no one can blame you for that. Fake news and propaganda, they are of course spread in Ukrainian online space. And these are the numbers for 2018. These are again taken from the official organizations that conduct the surveys. And 2 years ago, it was 35% of people who check the information which they get from the internet. So basically 65%, they just trust the information which they get. To fight this fake news and propaganda online, there is the whole a chapter, yeah, in the support from which we get from abroad. And one of these chapters, it is called Official Development Assistance. And in these terms, we get the democracy assistance. And all these media literacy projects who teach people how to analyze information and how to verify information, how to check if the video is real, and how to check if the video is taken from the certain country or from the certain period. So the main donors are IREX, USAID, European Endowment for Democracy, and National Endowment for Democracy, which the grants are very hard to get, and they are given only to the serious projects. And for example, IREX, they are, I think this year they started this new, the new stage, yeah, of the media literacy project, which is media literacy for the teachers. Before that, they have done media literacy for the directors of the schools. So basically, they are now moving from among the different groups of people, and they are teaching how to be media educated person, yeah, how not to trust everything that you get on the internet. These are main media literacy and media education informations in organizations in Ukraine, which is Institute of Mass Information and Detector Media. They do excellent surveys, and they participate in many projects which help people to get more media literate. And I would like to finish with the quote of my favorite former BBC correspondent, and now he's a writer. Do not give the time to unsourced and unverifiable I'm sorry, just a second. Unverifiable video, even with health warnings. Do not speculate, do not guess, assume nothing, trust no one, check everything. It is better to be delayed and truthful than first and fastest and falsest with the news. You cannot take years to build up a reputation for reliability and screw it up in just a couple of minutes. So thank you very much for your attention, and I hope this information was useful for you.
Thank you very much, Kateryna. This was a wonderful presentation. And I also really liked the quote. There are already 2 questions for you. The first one is from Anastasia. She was asking, just one second. According to the public shaming, what do you think about public canceling of someone? Then I need to ask what public canceling is, because I didn't know, but apparently it became very popular since 2020, like this year, she says. So canceling for everyone maybe who, yeah, maybe I'm not the only one who didn't know this, but canceling means that you delete apparently everything that has to do with it, like that you don't want to hear any more opinions about this person or read their books, etc.
So this is what happened to Joanne Rowling, and recently, yes, as far as I understand, if I get Nastya's questions correctly. Yeah, when people start canceling connected with a specific because of something, yes, it is. It is, but based like taking this COVID situation, like Olena asked, public shaming is not that spread online, though there are some publications where people just start fighting between each other. Like one says that we should wear the masks, and another said that we shouldn't wear the mask. Like, why do you believe that? And yes, they are fighting, they're discussing it, but they're not bullying each other. So I don't think that the topic of pandemic, it is developing this cyberbullying. But unfortunately, when the person have this choice, like during the elections, they start like disappreciate the opinion of other person. And actually, I think Nastya wasn't asking about the public canceling. She was just explaining, yeah. And
No, she was asking before, but then I asked what this term means. So yes, but there's also another question that picks up on that. So the other question was, how's the situation with public shaming due to COVID in Kyiv? Is there a new form of bullying? What do you think?
Yeah, that's what I have just told. That it's like it is not developing based on this COVID-19 pandemic. Like people are fighting, but they are not disappreciating each other.
Okay.
So this is it. I'm sorry.
No, that's completely fine. Does anyone else have any questions for Mrs. Kateryna Sokolova? I thought maybe from our keynote speaker, George Delogua, how do you define fake news?
Just thank you for the question, but I do not have to define it because it was already defined by the scholars, and we use a lot of information now. As for the hate speech, for example, my favorite author is Anne Weber because it's she gives a perfect classification of the hate speech. Considering the fake news, if I give my definition, I would say that this is the information which is false, or which is questions the trust of the person who gets this information, so of the final recipient of the information, and the information which is very hard to verify. In most of the cases, like during the war, especially during the war, in Armenia, I think that my colleagues will confirm that. And in Donbas, there were videos that were taken, for example, from some other countries. Like funny thing that it could be even taken from Syria and published as the bombing of Donbas. And this news can be defined as the fake news. Basically, the news that we have troubles to check, to verify.
Okay, he says thank you in the chat. I like this chat function. You can write and then talk again. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I want to thank you, Kateryna, for your wonderful presentation.
Thank you very much.